Hi.
How are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Please tell me about yourself and introduce your family, please.
Okay. So I'm Kitt Kiarie. Kiarie is not my name. I bought it with cows.
Good one.
My husband is Martin Kiarie. This is the best man in life.
Happy for you.
All the other men out there, they just come close to Martin, but they don't quite reach, right? So he's my husband, my high school sweetheart. I've known him for 14 years. I've been married to him for 7. When we have 2 children, Kendi is 4 years old and Keo is 1.5.
Tell me about your children.
Where do I even start? So they have very different personalities. Kendi is like me, so she's kind of has an attitude, sassy. But I mean, I know where it's coming from because I'm that.
All you.
I'm there.
All you.
I am there. I know. So I don't even get mad. I'm just like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're doing this. And Keo is mellow. He's like his dad. Mellow, happy-go-lucky. He likes everybody. He greets everybody. He'll be like walking down the street, like in the mall or something, and he's greeting literally, hi, everybody. Hi. You pass without noticing. He's like, hi. What happened? You know what I'm saying? So it's a joy having that kind of mix. And then because they get along and they fight like cats and dogs, that's okay. I just let them fight because they're going to kill each other. It's fine. And I love them to bits. I've always wanted children. I've always wanted many, many children. If I was a millionaire and I had everything to my disposal, I would have 10 children.
Yes.
I love it. I don't love being pregnant, but having babies is easy for me. So if I could just have babies, literally, let's say 20 hours labor, have a baby, I'd do it 10 times.
Are they good sleepers?
The children? Yeah, I mean, I taught them.
Tell me how you taught them. Let's start there.
I'm a sleep trainer. So I taught my children how to sleep at night.
Were you a sleep trainer before you were a mom or
No.
after?
After I was a mom. So when I got Kendi, it never occurred to me to do that thing of getting up at night, feeding, that whole nighttime thing. So people would be like, so are you ready for sleepless nights? And I was always like, no.
I love my sleep.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't believe in doing that. If there's such a thing, I don't believe in that kind of life of getting up.
Even when they're like 2 weeks, 3
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I trust that every baby can sleep through the night from when they're born. So that was my conviction. I told my husband, and my husband was like looking at me like, huh? What do you mean? And I was like, no, let me tell you, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
And what did you do, kid?
So we had a routine for during the day. So the main thing of sleep training is have a routine. Because you can't just be like, holela, and then expect your child to sleep at night. But if you plan their days and you plan their nights, they know what's happening. At any given time, there's a plan.
Because they can't differentiate between day and night.
No, they cannot. They cannot. But you can teach them, this is day, then we do stuff like this. This is what we do during the day. We eat, we play, we cuddle, we go outside in the sun, we go on rides, and this is what we do at night. We sleep. So I taught my 4-year-old. She's now 4. So I taught her. I said, okay, so during the night, I'm going to feed you at this time and this time. The rest of the time, we're going to sleep. So she would wake up, obviously, in the night. She doesn't know she's a baby. She wakes up and she wants to feed. I would intervene. I'd be like, okay, I'd give her some time to settle down because the waking up is not an issue. The crying to be fed, that's the issue. Okay, and the feeding, that's the issue. Like, we're not going to feed at night, right? So I'd give her some time to see if she'd settle. More often than not, it was 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'd go to her, pat her, and I'd talk to her and tell her it's time to sleep. Why am I touching her? Why am I talking to her? And I'm not picking her up.
Because it's from the crib?
Yeah, it's from her crib. So I don't sleep with my babies. I didn't even, somebody was telling me how they sleep with their baby in the bed. I didn't even know that was a thing. For me, I've never slept with a baby in my bed. I don't know how uncomfortable I'd be. So I've never done that. I've always had a little crib and they sleep in it, right? So anyway, so I go to them, I touch them, and then I give them some more time, right? So at this time, they're probably whining, crying, and that's okay. It's okay to whine and cry. I know that you're not sad and you're not hungry or sleepy or dirty diaper, because everything has been sorted. So you're just like, you're used to having the milk, so you want it, right? So I'm just telling you, no, you're not going to get it. That's the only thing. So I touch her, and then I give her some more time. I increase it to like 10 minutes, and then I wait for her. She doesn't settle. I touch her again, and then I increase it to 15 minutes. So it's kind of that kind of training that we go through. And by the third or fourth day, she's not really waking up. She'll wake up, somebody who would be waking up on the hour would wake up once or twice the entire night.
But like for a 1-month-old, they don't need like constant feeding, like every 3 or 2 hours they need a meal?
I mean, people think that, but then during the day that works. And at night, it's time to sleep. So we have a cutoff, and my cutoff was 10 p.m., and then we'd sleep uninterrupted until 5 a.m. So we had 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night, but we'd go to bed at around 7. So we have 12 hours, we interrupt it at around 10, and then they can survive, yeah? So, but babies survive. They do it. They can do it, right? I mean, there's babies who are found in the trash 3 days, no food, and they're still alive. They are hardier than us. We don't eat at night, and we have the excuse that our stomach is bigger, but then their stomach is commensurate to their size. They're not our size with their stomach. Their size with their own stomach, right? So they can do it. They can do 7 hours.
Teething, when they're teething, they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is running.
Yeah.
Still tapping.
Yeah. You know, the most fascinating thing that I learned with Kendi, because she was my first, and then KO came and showed me the exact same thing. The babies that I train outside, I don't get to spend that much time with them, but my own children, I do. And this is what I've noticed. When you have a schedule and you know where everything, what time everything is going to happen, what time you're going to bath, what time you're going to eat, what time you're going to go outside, what time you're going to nap, what time you're going to sleep, everything else you can deal with much easier. You're not trying to figure out, okay, now I'm feeling pain because I'm teething. But also, when is my dinner? And also, what time am I going to bath? And when is mommy coming? When you're not dealing with anything else except the teething. And teething by itself, not that big a deal.
So you've trained Kendi, you've trained Kayla,
yeah.
And you were like, I should do this professionally.
Yes.
Now what changed?
Yes.
Like,
so now people like you would be like,
help me.
People would be like, okay, first of all, are you a magician? Okay, are you a magician? Why are your children calm, happy? They eat when it's eating time, sleep when it's sleeping time. What is happening? And I just like nonchalantly say, oh, I taught them. How did you teach them? So I tell them, oh, I do this, that, and the other. Are you joking? You should do classes. So many people just said that. You should do classes. If I had money for when people said that, I wouldn't do classes because I'd be so rich. So we did. We started to do the classes, my husband and I. Mm-hmm. And we'd do group classes and people would come in. About 12 parents will come and we do the session. And then they go and then we support them on the phone for like a week. Because it takes about 5 days to train a baby. And then we started to notice that people would be so excited to come to the class. And then when it was coming to the class, they'd be like, do you do private classes? So it's like they were shy and they were embarrassed about whatever they were going through. And they didn't want to share that with other parents. So the group classes started to become obsolete. So now I only do private classes. And people are happy with it.
So the private classes, do you go there at night?
I go to their home. It doesn't matter the time of day. But no, it's actually, I go in the morning. Every class ends at around 2. So I go in the morning to the houses and I give them the tools, the technology. It's a program. So there's a whole program. It's called Raising Kendi. Talks, it's a happy baby course, because after you do it, your baby is happy, right? So I come to you, I give you all the tools regarding why babies cry, what's important for babies to sleep, how they should sleep, when they should eat. We have a problem of overfeeding in Kenya. I've not seen how other people do it, but then every time your baby makes a sound, you feed them. Right? And sometimes they're crying because they're too full and their stomach hurts, but then you feed them. And they can't say no because it makes them feel better. So it's just a cycle. It's a cycle of overfeed, feed, overfeed, cry, feed, overfeed.
Can you differentiate the different types of crying? That this is hunger, this is sleep,
After a while, you actually can see, you can tell the different kinds of... But there's a lot of technology out there about how babies cry. There's a way that they cry like, and you know they're hungry because they put their tongue to the roof of their mouth. That's how they breastfeed. So when they make that kind of sound, you know they're hungry. If they're doing, you know their stomach hurts, so they need to poop. If they're crying a lazy kind of cry and touching their face, they're sleepy, you know. So after a while, like a week or 2 of seeing your baby, you can tell what's happening with the baby. But then we feed babies when they're sleepy, and we feed them when they're hurt, and we feed them when they're sick. We're constantly feeding babies. And we do this for ourselves. You feel sad, you go get ice cream. Yeah. We eat our feelings, and we teach our babies to do the same thing. You can sleep train if your baby is sleeping in the same room. You can sleep train if your baby is sleeping in the same bed. I don't recommend sleeping with your baby in the bed because you disturb their sleep. You can sleep train if your baby is sleeping in a different room. It doesn't matter. You can sleep train all the time. Recommended sleeping hours per night. Babies up to about a year can sleep for up to 20 hours out of 24. So babies sleep a lot. So and we'll find that many of the parents who call me say that their baby sleeps during the day and is up at night. And that's what they just need to switch so that the baby sleeps at night. So babies can sleep for long. So don't even worry, Ati, they're napping so long so they won't sleep at night. They'll sleep. Don't worry about it. So it's recommended that they sleep up to 14 hours in the night, including a 1-hour nap. Yeah. That's like up to 1 year.
Okay.
Even a 2-year-old can do that. 14 hours of sleep.
You had mentioned discipline, how you discipline your children.
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I mean, my children are 2 different ages, so I don't discipline them the same way. Ko gets a lot of smacks on his hand if he's going to touch something that I don't want him to touch. So he's going to get it and I say no, and I smack him on his hand with my fingers. Smart smack. It's like a pop. Smart, right? I'm not trying to play around with him touching hot things or sockets or knives, right? So he knows if I say no, he doesn't even need the smack. He just flinches, right? So I need to be able to stop him when I'm far away. But then I can only do that if I teach him first. And then he gets time out. If he's like...
Does he comprehend what time out is?
Yeah, he does. I tell him, you're getting time out. Like he's nagging, crying, whining. I'm like, you need time out. You're getting time out right now. And I go and I put him in the corner. He obviously tries to get up. I just put him back in the corner and I tell him it's time out. So it takes about 7 minutes for him to get that he needs to sit there. But he does sit there for a minute. It's only 1 minute that he needs to sit there because he's 1. Yeah, so he sits there. For Kendi, it's a range. I can take away her stuff like cartoons or books or toys if she does something that I'm not happy with. I spank her if she's rude or like hits someone. Both my children know not to hit anybody. She will get time out as well. If we're out and I always have my little kiboko in my purse. But if I don't have it...
What's a little kiboko?
It's a kiboko. It's like a chopstick.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a kiboko. I carry it, and I'm like, I'm carrying the kiboko, right? Because there's nowhere in the world where you are free from discipline. You have to behave like a person. Like, you can't now be an animal because we're in the supermarket. Yeah, so she gets time out in supermarkets, church, anywhere. That I'm like, okay, you sit here and wait 4 minutes because she's 4.
What do you see your future with the sleep training classes? What do you hope to achieve?
Wow.
Or to expand on?
You know, I want the thing that has really come out is train sleep trainers, because the parents that I train, they are sleep trainers. They train their children, and they could be able to take that passion or that know-how and train other people's children. So from here, I just see a happy baby certification, sort of like raising candy certification, and people come and learn about sleep training and go out and teach others. Because right now, it's me, and people rely on me. But if I had like 10 people, how many more babies would we reach? You know, I mean, now you like now you're making me like dream about it. But that's what I'm working towards, to disseminate this information to everybody who needs it. You know,
what advice would you give to parents who are struggling and saying that maybe they should do the crying out method? You are against that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or thinking that maybe they're still too young to learn how to sleep by themselves. What advice would you give them?
Okay, nobody is too young to learn. I start from newborn, and by 2 weeks we're sleeping through the night. So if I could, and people would see us out, my husband and I, having dinner at a restaurant, and they're like, I don't understand. Don't you have a 2-week-old? And we're like, yeah, we trained him, so he's sleeping, you know. But it's never too young, so go ahead and do it. Again, it's never too old, so go ahead and do it. Anybody can learn. We're teaching 18-year-olds in NYS. We're teaching them. Anybody can learn, so just go ahead and do it. And it's not, sleep training is not difficult. It's not horrible. Babies who are sleep trained are well-adjusted toddlers, and they do well in playgroup and kindergarten and primary school. They do well, and they're better in maths and science because they sleep through the night, you know. So this is good for your child. And it's good for you because you get to sleep, and anybody who sleeps gets to be like vibrant and happy and alive during the day, rather than walking around like a zombie and blaming your baby.
And the crying out method is not the only method?
No, it's not the only method. It's just one method. I don't use the crying out method because I don't really like it. Yeah, but it's not the only method.
How can parents get in touch with you?
You can get me on Instagram, Kitt Kiarie, or Facebook, Kitt Kiarie, Raising Candy Talks on Facebook. You can call me. I mean, all my details are there. You can call me, email me. All my details are on the website. And you can follow all my platforms and get regular updates on sleep training. And read my blog, raisingcandy.com. It's funny. You will enjoy it, and you get information and knowledge that you can use in your own life.
Thank you so much, Kitt.